Hello and welcome. In our studios today, we have a very special guest, and his name is Dr. Sergei Dvoryanov, and he is in India for his spiritual journey. So, without wasting any time, let's straight go to Dr. Sergei and ask him about his spiritual experiences in India. Dr. Sergei, you went to Varanasi recently. Why don't you share your experiences, the spiritual experiences you had there?
First of all, Mr. Atir, thank you so much for your invitation to studio. Namaste, namaskar to everybody, to your audience. And I am so happy to be here and speak about our project, Varanasi Dialogue. I'm Global President of International Diplomatic Club Amicability, and I involved in public diplomacy. Today, soft power, culture diplomacy, public diplomacy is a very significant instrument to create peace around all the planet globally. And Varanasi is such a significant place why we target it, because during the whole history of India, it was never exist any conflict in that particular spiritual land, not any war. And also famous teacher, scholar, and preacher Shankaracharya, he will start to promote Sanatana Dharma in Varanasi. And we know that Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, he was selected from Varanasi to Parliament of India. That is his place of his political career, we can tell.
Right.
And especially for me, I was start to visit India from 2002. And last year I celebrate my anniversary, 20 years in India. And right now we can see that this is a year of G20 in India, and global agenda, a lot of topics we have to discuss, and our International Diplomatic Club want to be also a part of such a global process. And as you know, it's a format special C20 where some not profitable organization involved to discussion. And for me, it's such a beautiful experience. You see, it's a spiritual variety. When you can hear azan from mosque, when you can hear some prayers from mandir, some Hindu temple, you can see coexistence of different types of traditions and religions. That's why we target Varanasi like a platform of dialogue, because what we need during this hard time, a lot of challenges in our civilization, but if we will be in dialogue, in process, try to hear each other, we definitely will save the world.
Right. So that's what makes India special. Like you talked about, how you heard the temple bells and azan, the sounds of both these, mix into this and give us spiritual experiences. What are other such spiritual experiences you've had in India?
Very frankly, I want to tell that always spiritual experience related to the personality, because our heart, such a amazing, indescribable place where we can collect and keep all our emotions. When we observe in our prayers to some dedication mood to the God, and God always reply, always reply. In the scriptures, it's mentioned when some call coming from the land, you definitely will receive some reply from the sky.
Right.
And for me, for example, I met my new friend, new brother, Mr. Jan Nisar Loan, who is a famous Bollywood producer from Kashmir.
Yes.
And for me, it was a confirmation that such kind of personality, because he is Sufi, and Sufism, as you know, it's a kind of spirituality where you can combine different types of traditions and emotional spiritual experiences together, and without any limitations, some obstacles. You can be amazed from the experience of personality of different type of religions. That is to be open heart. That's very needable. And India, as I mentioned, it's a country of variety. You can never found such type of spiritual variety in any other country in the world.
Right.
Definitely not.
So, from outside, India seems to be very different because the way international media writes about India, as if there's a lot of rift and everything, things are not good. There's a lot of communal, issues which are happening. So as an outsider, when you've been reading all that narrative which has been created, and when you come to India firsthand and see for yourself, do you see the difference?
You see, outsider always easily can be insider when he touch to the emotion waves from the personality who is deeply in spirituality. That's why I was not convert, but transform to the Bhakti Yoga. I was born in Orthodox family. I'm a Christian. I'm still practice some Orthodox prayers and visit a church.
Right.
But when I visit India 2002 and I was transformed by my spiritual master, Srila Narayan Maharaj, who originally from Indian family was born in Bihar, with the blue eyes, with his eyes a color of sky. It's not typical for Indians. And I can tell that my identity, I am not feel myself that I am Russian or Christian. My identity to be spiritual, it belongs to Arya path, belongs to the deep Vedic culture.
Right.
For me, it's most significant because that is, as you know, the most ancient language in the world is Sanskrit,
right.
The most complicated language. That's why India should be proud, Bharatavarsha should be proud to be a part of such a huge and amazing history.
Yeah, indeed, we are proud of it. But tell us that India being, as you said, that there's no other, you don't get the kind of spiritual feeling which you get in India anywhere in the world. So do you think that India being the spiritual capital of the world, India can play the bonding role, it can unite people throughout the world, maybe, it can also be, it can maybe mediate as far as conflicts between West and East are concerned?
Absolutely, absolutely. You absolutely right, recognize and describe the modern global role of India to be a mediator in the dialogue between West and East. And also, at the same time, it's a spiritual knowledge which can help in this process. And second thing which I want to mention, that you see, we have a lot of different politicians and some political leaders today. But nobody start to promote not only political agenda, but also kind of humanity.
Right.
Yes, human qualities, some spiritual process. And we can see that Honorable Sri Narendra Modi ji, he always talking about yoga, about some peaceful style of life.
Right.
And he put to discussion, political discussion, some universal principles and universal values.
Right.
That's why for me it's very important to understand how some civil activists, some social activists, how they can be involved to the process in this dialogue between West and East.
Right. So tell me now about the impression of Russian people about India. You know that there was a time in the late 80s and before the disintegration of USSR, that Russians were very fond of India and Indian culture. There used to be films like Raj Kapoor,
yes,
and
true.
People, they were very popular out there. But since then, a lot of water has flown. What do you think are the impressions of Russians about India as of today?
Yes, I will definitely explain my position. I was in India from October last year and still here. Only today I will fly to Russia through Dubai. And for me it's very important that I came to Varanasi from Saudi Arabia, from Asian legendary land and legendary country. And that is type of spiritual variety. Your question before was about the can be India as for example Delhi or Varanasi a capital, spiritual capital of the world. My answer is completely yes. That's why we put in our international event which we did in Varanasi Dialogue, some type of discussion and agenda to make spiritual Davos in Varanasi. Because in the Western country we have Davos, which in Switzerland. Switzerland is a land of banking activity, a famous financial land. But to make a balance between financial and material problems and challenges, we should create in eastern part of the world some type of global conference, regular conference, which can be the same like Davos is a small village, we can tell. We recognize that Varanasi, like a land where it was never the conflicts and war, it's a land of spiritual revelations, can be a capital of spiritual Davos. And India during G20 can create, can initiate this process to be done and can propose to the politicians, to political leaders that we should create some balance, spiritual balance. And come to the point about Hindu-Russian relationships. I am so happy to announce that our brother Gianni Sarlon start to create new album of famous Russian singer Daria Startseva. She is an opera singer and also pop singer. And the name of album Mystic Way is only way, is about some type of mysticism which can unite different type of religions and spiritual experience. And we did already first song in our Varanasi conference, Spiritual Conclave in Varanasi. It was amazing, successfully. Everybody was so appreciated, impressed, and grateful to this experience. Right. That's why I can see that practical steps can promote our friendship. It will be some product, like you mentioned, Raj Kapoor. It should be appearance new Raj Kapoor, young generation. Let them come to this dialogue.
Right. So you heard Dr. Sergei talk about how, it'll be wonderful if Varanasi becomes a spiritual Davos, and we have more icons from India like Raj Kapoor, which become popular in Russia. So, Dr. Sergei, we wish you all the best in your quest for this spiritual journey and this spiritual diplomacy
to
bring about peace in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And finally, thank you so much. Finally, I want to tell that my personal relation in Varanasi was I create some poetry. I want propose to Mr. Gianni Sar to make this poetry like not official anthem of G20, because G20 maybe have some official anthem, but we can make some from young generation.
Right.
And one words, some line in my poetry was I address the name of the poetry Namaste Sukha. And one of the line is Namaste, my beautiful beloved Lord, please give me a visa to your resort. When I create it, when I finish it, I completely recognize I am in the resort of God. I am in Varanasi. That is His resort.
Right.
I can feel God exists in this particular place in different forms, in different vibes, in different emotional waves. I am in His. Only I should be more sensitive. That is my observation. Will definitely do something significant. That is my dedication and contribution to ancient culture of India.
Right.
Thank you.
So we are happy you had such great experiences, but of course there's a lot to talk. Perhaps some other day. Thank you, Dr. Sergei, for being in our studios.
Thank you. Dhanyavad.